So, thanks for having me. Thanks for asking me to join this meetup this evening. Unfortunately, my kids got sick, so I cannot attend on site, and I switched very spontaneously to a remote version. I hope it's fine for you. And yeah, today I want to talk to tell you about something about guiding sightless journeys and how we guided visually impaired travelers to reach their bus replacement stops. And this is just one example of things we're doing for accessibility at Deutsche Bahn. And who am I? I'm Danny. I work as a front-end architect at DB Systel. DB Systel is the tech company of Deutsche Bahn. So we are running almost everything technically for Deutsche Bahn and building software, individual software, and also adjusting standard products. And yeah, one thing is also to make the software accessible, which is really important. You can find me on Blue Sky or LinkedIn and follow me if you want. And yeah, I'm also open source enthusiast. I like to work on open source projects to make things open source and also use open source. And I build user-centered accessible web applications. That's my main focus. And I work in a team called Technology for Accessibility. And our team mission is to build accessible services for the whole Deutsche Bahn ecosystem. So we want to help our customers to reach their targets easily and to make their journey as good as possible. And therefore, last year, we launched a service called DB Wegbegleitung. And this service, DB Wegbegleitung, was used for the Riedbahn renovation. You may have heard of it. It was one of the biggest renovations last year, and it was between Frankfurt, Main, and Mannheim. And it was a very, very big construction site. So we had to replace a lot of overhead lines, switches, signals, tracks, and also we have modernized and renovated a lot of stations. And this was like one very big construction site, and our goal was not to make all the things in 3, 4, or 5 years, but in 5 months without disturbing the main train traffic so much. But of course, when you have such a big construction site, a lot of stations are affected. So we talk about 68 stations which were not available as usual, and this was for 5 months. So for 5 months, people had to use like replacement service or other trains or other public transports to reach their goals and the targets. We focused on visually impaired people, and when we talk about visually impaired people, we mean like about 500,000 people in Germany. And we thought about these people have some special challenges during such a big construction site, because there's ambient noise, you have like disrupted route guidance, which is very hard for these people if the usual way is disrupted in some kind, and they have probably to pass intersections or to walk narrow sidewalks, and there's a lot of traffic. And yeah, this was very hard for all people to find replacement stocks, even if we had a lot of signs, of course. But especially for visually impaired people, it's a big challenge. And to make things as good as we can, so we thought about we should provide them a tool where they can get help from someone. And this is our DB Wegbegleitung service, which is a web application. The people are usually, a lot of these people are using like screen reader technologies, and they are quite good in working with them with a browser. And so we thought about just launching a web application and opening the camera view of of the traveler. And we on our side, on the operator perspective, on the DB perspective, can see this view of the camera and also have this geolocation of the people. And so we can use this geolocation and the camera view and have a lot of context material, so for the stations, etc. And with this information, we can help the people to walk to bus replacement stops. And this is how it looked like. It's a quite easy user interface. As I said, we wanted to make it as easy as possible, and also very reader usage. And so it's basically you start a call, you get connected with an operator, and the operator can see your camera view. We had to locate the people on the map to have their geo position to find the best path through the station or through the streets to find the replacement stops. Because there was also the challenge that not all bus replacement stops were directly located in front of a station. We had some stations where the replacement stop was like 5 minutes by walk away or something. And also we wanted to prevent of misuse of the application. So with the geolocation, we could offer the service only locally where stations were affected. And this is, by the way, Mohammed. He's a blind developer in our company, and he's also testing a lot of accessibility applications for accessibility issues. And he also helped us developing this service and testing this service, of course. And this is how the application will look like on our side. So it's basically simple web application, but we have this context material of, we know the position, we know exactly which station it is, we have the levels of the station, we can switch these levels, we can navigate the person through the station or outside to some street to the replacement stop. And we can also have other context information, for example, connection trains, or if there's some connection train delayed or something like that. So all this information we could use to help the traveler to find the best way to their stop. And some words about the technical foundations, because I'm a developer and I love to talk about technical things. So we're using standard services. So we're standing on the shoulder of giants. It's we're using Azure Communication Services, which is the product behind Microsoft Teams also. This is our foundation for the audio-video communication, and we're running everything on AWS cloud infrastructure. And one very big building block in our system and in a lot of our applications at Deutsche Bahn is our DBUX design system. This is a design system we put open source, so you can check it out. And the parts of the design system are a lot of components we can reuse in our web application, and all these components, all these parts of this design system are also accessibility tested with experts, of course. And this is a very good thing because it gives us the foundation to not reinvent the wheel every time, and we're using standards, and we're not building everything custom and new. And words about the tricky part. The tricky part in this application was, I already mentioned, I think it's not that important what we see, it's more important what we're not seeing. So we had to optimize the application for our customers to make it very good and comfortable to use with screen reader technologies. And this was quite challenging for some reason, especially for the reason the flow to asks for the permissions, to grant permissions for camera, microphone, and GPS. We had really to iterate it very often because and sometimes you are on a point where the browser denies this request for granting the permissions if you ask too often, or if you just like ask everything with one request. It was really challenging to make it easy and good to follow also for screen readers. So let's tell the users, now you will get asked to give your permission for camera because we need it to see your front camera and things like that. So we're really focused on making invisible things visible for screen readers, and that was very important. And yeah, there were also some funny things we had with pronunciation of the application name, because screen readers like voice over or talkback always pronounce it like DB Wegbegleitung, and we wanted to call it DB Wegbegleitung, so we had to like put an extra E inside or something like that, so find some workarounds. And a tricky part was also to train our staff, because of course we wanted to have like staff on the operator side, which is firm in helping people with visual disabilities. So that's why we trained our staff. It was very important to tell them like to route the people primarily to the route guidance, and and tell them how to use the blind stick and stuff like that, the white stick. So, and yeah, that was also a bit challenging. And yeah, some words about our next steps. So we want to offer the service for more regions and during more big construction sites, and want to make the service in the future probably widely available. So because the service is very good for visually impaired people, but it could also help, like, for example, elderly people, or just like only people which are not traveling by train that often. Then maybe you live on a countryside and there's no DB stuff available for asking or something like that. And we could also mention to use the service idea by having this video communication service with this context material, like manuals, for example, for coffee machines, to help the staff within the train to repair something on demand, and having a call center on the other side with these manuals where they can help. And yeah, we have also other very big accessibility project. One is CityLAB, which helps travelers using AI in an application, also by camera, to film the symbols on a train station, and to tell them what's behind it and what does it mean, the typography and stuff like that. And also we're rebuilding currently the web formula for requesting assistance when boarding and changing trains, if you're, for example, if you travel with a wheelchair or something. And yeah, that's some insights about things we're doing at Deutsche Bahn and at DB Systel for making things more accessible in the future. And thanks for your attention. And yeah, I'm open for questions.